science. Partementie voel je krijgt show.
Still got the moves.
Make it.
Hello, my horror movie peeps. I just got done watching the first big horror movie of 2023, M3GAN. And with M3GAN, we follow little girl Katie, who after losing her two parents in a horrible accident, her aunt, who is also a toy engineer, gifts her with a robotic AI doll meant to love and protect her, M3GAN, at all costs. That's all pretty much said without giving any spoilers to you guys. This will be a spoiler-free review. Right now, if you're watching my review on this channel, you are also watching the very first M3GAN fan to ever exist. I first talked about this movie M3GAN on my channel in August of 2020. The minute I heard Blumhouse was going to be making their own killer doll movie that would be produced by James Wan, it had me sold right away. Growing up, that was one of my favorite horror subgenres, killer doll movies that were fun and bloody. And I felt like lately, not to sound like an old fart, they just didn't make them like they used to. Now, if they came out with a new killer doll movie, the doll would do nothing but sit on its butt, turn its head, maybe roll its eyes once or twice, but it would barely ever actually get up, move, grab a knife, some sort of random object, and actually stab some people. So every time we get a new killer doll movie up and coming, I'm hoping it's the one to break the mold. And M3GAN has not only broken the mold, she is setting new trends and reviving the killer doll genre. This movie was pretty fun. M3GAN to me takes all the fun I enjoy out of a killer doll movie and just embraces the campiness while still being able to hold on to the more serious moments. Because while I'll definitely say M3GAN is a lot more comedic horror than actually just straight up horror, there are those sliver of moments throughout M3GAN where she's talking, everything's fun, giggly, and then her tone changes. She says something snarky, something with a little bit of attitude, and you're like, get this doll away from me. I also think the way the movie goes about introducing M3GAN, explaining her origin, the way she becomes a little bit more evil, actually really makes a lot of sense. I feel like it's kind of a cliched thing now to have evil AI robots in your movie because we all know they're headed in one path, destroy humanity, just start killing for no reason. But there were genuine times at the beginning of the movie where M3GAN was being introduced as this helpful product for children and parents where I was like, you know what? If I might actually buy that. I think that's actually a brilliant idea. Someone write that down. And while the two main leads, Allison Williams and Violet McGraw, did pretty good jobs in their roles, the star of this movie is M3GAN, okay? Every second that goes by on screen and M3GAN isn't a part of that actual scene, talking to the camera, doing something creepy in the background, I'm just waiting for M3GAN to show up again. I really love the little bits of personality they added onto M3GAN, her little sly comments, how she can be snarky, her change in tone whenever she's not getting her way, and just the escalation to her being even more frightening by the end. Because one of my biggest concerns going into M3GAN is I knew this movie was going to be rated R from the beginning, okay? If you go back to that first trailer, it was very clearly a rated R horror movie. There was blood, ears being ripped off, stuff going down. I'm like, okay, this is not only going to be a fun little killer doll movie, it'll actually be a little gory. But because of viral marketing and the studio wanting little kids to also be able to go see M3GAN, they went back, refilmed some stuff, and censored a whole bunch of different scenes in M3GAN. And as you're watching the film, you can very much tell when scenes were censored. M3GAN in the movie is doing her thing of ripping a kid's ear off or going after a very annoying lady in the movie. And the way the scene is played up, you can just feel it was supposed to be more violent. It was supposed to be a little bit more graphic. And the camera cuts away right before you can see any of that. And although that kind of bugged me as a horror fan who likes seeing that kind of stuff done, I do got to give my hats off to the director because he still managed to pull off a creepy atmosphere with then being forced to censor his movie by the studio. Not every kill in here works as an implied kill, but there were one or two that were pretty effective where you use your imagination to what's going on off screen and you're like, that must actually really hurt. I also want to talk about the other elephant in the room that I know a lot of fans of my channel are going to be talking about. How does this compare to the 2019 Child's Play movie that I am a fan of? What they did with that Child's Play remake that starred Gabriel Bateman, Aubrey Plaza, and Brian Tyree Henry, I thought was actually an enjoyable reinvention of the Chucky character. And little would you know, that movie shares an extremely similar plot to M3GAN. Now, from what I understand, both these movies were conceived and made around the same time, so don't go thinking M3GAN M3GAN is copying Child's Play or that Child's Play was copying M3GAN. We've seen this millions of times in Hollywood where studios just end up making the same movie around the same time. It just happens. But again, as someone who enjoys that remake and don't give it as much hate as other people, I would still say M3GAN handled its story elements and its commentary on how consumer products like, Alexas, iPads, iPhones, things like that could affect your children, could affect your everyday life, how surrounded we are by that. It doesn't come off preachy or anything, but I felt the themes were better executed here than they were in Child's Play. But there are other things Child's Play did better than M3GAN, but that'll be for another video. So yeah, at the end of the day, M3GAN isn't necessarily breaking the mold or changing things for the killer doll movie genre like I was hoping, but it is bringing back that campy fun nature that killer doll movies can be. You can have moments that send chills down the back of your spine, make you a little creeped out, but at the end of the day, it's a freaking doll trying to kill you. It's a little funny. The writer of this movie, Akela Cooper, has lately just been making movies that really speak to me as horror fans, that are the perfect balance of campy, cheesy, fun horror that I enjoy. She wrote Hellfest. She also wrote Malignant. Absolutely love that. She has now written M3GAN. And next up, she's got The Nun 2, a movie I barely have any excitement for, but so far she seems to nail this balance of campy horror with some thrilling moments. Other than them censoring certain gory moments, the only other drawback to M3GAN is I would say it takes a while to get to the M3GAN action. A big chunk of this movie, almost the first half, is dedicated to the buildup of getting M3GAN set up, meeting these characters, exploring a little bit about her, and then we'll finally get some M3GAN doing creepy stuff. I would have liked the creepy stuff to happen earlier because I just want to be spending more time with evil M3GAN. But once we got to it all and that third act hit, it just reminded me of the fun and joy I got watching the finale of the first 3 Child's Play movies as a kid, where Chucky starts to get all crazy, wild, and then even Chucky himself slowly getting attacked back where he gets battle damage throughout the fight. I was like, I would love to see 10 more M3GAN movies, and they're open to the idea. So I need you to see this one. So when it comes to M3GAN, I'm going to give action 2.5 stars. Like I was mentioning, a good chunk of this movie is just kind of build up, meeting the characters, exploring a little bit of the world, and then you get some M3GAN mayhem towards the end of the movie. Comedy in the movie, I'm going to give it 3.5 stars. I found myself laughing a lot throughout here. M3GAN is a very funny little girl, and it's also not even just M3GAN making jokes here. The world is very much a satire on consumerism, products then that are marketed to children. It's pretty self-aware. I love that about the movie. Drama in the film, I'm gonna give it 3 stars. I think the story was still pretty simple. It's an AI robot that starts going bad and wanting to kill people, but it also managed to handle the serious and campy moments, which I appreciated. Horror in the film, I'm gonna give it 2.5 stars. Whenever M3GAN is in her element and is actually being creepy, is hunting down somebody, doing something menacing with all her different abilities, yes, it can be pretty effective. They're just far and few in between. So for good chunks of the movie, you won't necessarily be scared a lot of the time. And suspense in the movie, I'm gonna give it 3 stars. You could definitely predict where some story elements are headed and maybe even how this movie will end. But there are a couple of times that M3GAN gets the upper hand and then she busts out a new ability you didn't even know she was capable of, and you actually get a little bit on the edge of your seat. Casual fans to killer doll movies, I'm gonna give this an A+. Cinephiles, I'm gonna give it a B+. And critically, I'm going to give it a B+. I think M3GAN is a really good time that should be enjoyed in theaters. Look, for the first horror movie in January, this is miles better than anything we've gotten in years. Hopefully we get more M3GAN in our lives, but if not, this was a great little horror movie to the killer doll genre. Let me know what you guys thought about M3GAN if you got the chance to see it. Did you like it? How did the PG-13 rating handle for you? Anything and everything, be sure to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.